Hello guys, Wahoo here, back with another video. This is actually the very first episode of my new podcast called the Hello Guys podcast, and it's named Hello Podcast or Hello Guys podcast because I always say hello guys when I start my videos, and this is not something specifically on a guide or anything like that. It is a conversation between two people. Mainly gamers. It's people that I know that I don't really know that good, and I want to get to know better. So it's just basically just me getting to know another person. And as you probably saw in the on the title already, it's Ayum, also called Adam. His Twitch is linked in the description if you want to go check it out. We talk about it in here. We actually talk about a lot of things. He really opens up a lot of things that I was really surprised that he was going to tell me about, and I feel very, very happy and blessed that he actually took the time to tell me these things, and I know him a lot better now. We also talk about Twitch. We talk about going to TwitchCon. I just finished the episodes, that's why I know. Because the whole format is not, we don't prepare anything at all. We just see where the conversation goes. I do know some stuff about the person, of course, a little bit, and I try to ask about those, and then the conversation just flows, and we just talk about life. Sometimes it's going to be about life, it's going to be about gaming, it's going to be about streaming, it's going to be about anything. Basically, it's just a conversation between two people, and I call it a podcast because I think that's what a podcast is. I could also call it the conversation, but it's just conversation. It's just I don't know, weird in some way. But yeah, I do these small intros. I'm not gonna talk every time about what it's about, because I'm probably gonna reference in the next episode. I'm just gonna talk about like what I talked about in the first one. But I feel like it's very hard to explain. It's very hard to explain to the people that I want on, because I did do a podcast before called The State of Trove. If you haven't seen that, you should also check it out on the channel. It's mostly focused about Trove, and it's kind of getting old now, but we do talk about the people that are in it, and AM is one of the ones that was in it, and I know him from Trove. He played Trove, and then I'm a big fan of his because he's just so genuine and stuff like that. And then we really met in real life. We talk about that as well. Hopefully we'll meet again, because him and his wife is super awesome, and I want revenge for them being so nice to me. No, I just didn't get to be as nice as I could show I was, or how much I appreciate them being so nice to me, because they're really genuinely very, very nice. So yeah, he still streams every day, even though I don't stream that much anymore. So you should definitely check him out in the description. So I hope you guys understand. There's not a lot of preparation to these, other than what I know beforehand. But with the State of Trove, I prepared a lot of questions for people. There was a whole thing that went through it, and it kind of stopped because there was not really any news really coming out of Trove like we used to. They had the live stream, and then they did a lot of things, and or teased a lot of things, and then we talked about it on the podcast. It was super awesome, and I had a lot of fun doing it. There was also a lot of work that went into it. More this was just, I just asked him, did you have time? And then he said yeah, and then that was it. So they're about an hour long, so they're pretty long, and I'll also try to get the audio out and just have it on Spotify, but we'll see. First it's going to be on YouTube, but I just play Trove in this one. I'll play other things, other games. Maybe I'll play games with the person that I'm talking to. I hope to get a lot of these people that I've learned or known about over the years to come here and just have a conversation. I get to know them better. Maybe some of them for the very first time. I hope so. I have a few in mind that I would really love to get on and actually try to talk to. And yeah, just met a lot of cool people, I think, and then I would like to know them better. And that's maybe you get to know them better. And the whole concept is that when you're gaming, you can listen to this in the background, and you can just listen to what we're saying, because nothing really happens on the screen other than me. In this one, for example, I am just doing dungeons and Trove. That's it. I do want some gameplay on it. So if you are watching, can do that, but I don't want anything to happen. And speaking of that, Trove actually crashed during it, so suddenly there's going to be completely a black screen. Don't worry about it. It's going to come back on. It was just because it apparently changed the sound and then it crashed, and I don't know why, but that was what happened. So I hope you're gonna enjoy this first episode of it. I don't know yet if I'm gonna do an outro. I don't think I'm gonna do an outro for it. I think it's just gonna end with us like that, and then you can watch it, and I'll do an intro for everyone, so we can kind of talk about what we talked about, and if there's something that, like for example, Trove that glitched out or something like that. Don't worry, it's nothing happening there. But you can have it in the background. You don't have to be watching any of it. But just if you listen, you should definitely listen, because Ayum said some very cool stuff. And it's definitely not the last time we're gonna have him on. We're all gonna do a part 2 at some point. Down the road, sometime. So hope you're gonna enjoy this gaming or this session, this conversation, and I will talk to you in the next one. So just so you know, I'm recording now. So just
Okay.
yeah, so you know. So I'm doing the intro and stuff like that before. I'm after this, I'm gonna do an intro. I'm gonna do an outro and stuff like that. So basically, It's just for me and you to hang out, talk for an hour. You can play whatever you want to, but I'm gonna play Trove for this session.
Okay.
But it's just hanging out, talking. There's not much to it. I do call it like a podcast to you because
I'm talking to Wahoo.
Oh,
yeah. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. That's the whole point. It doesn't has to be genuine, but you know what I mean. It's like it's unedited. If there's something that I ask you and you don't want to answer it or anything like that, it's totally cool and stuff like that. It's basically just two people talking together. Random stuff. It can be like I said, it can be life. It can be what you had for breakfast, or it can be about gaming. Probably ask you, of course, some gaming, maybe some questions. But it's just you can ask me questions as well. It's not like that. But I can't really show you what it is because I haven't done an episode before. But
no, sounds good.
It's just hanging out. So yeah. I saw you were streaming.
Yeah. Yep, streaming some Genshin Impact right now.
Yeah, I've been playing a little bit. I don't know. Usually I'm not into most Asians MMO thingies because they usually go they have a high I was about to say impact, but that would be too much of a pun, but too much of speed. It's going, I don't know. It's just fast. Fast pace.
I understand.
But I do need to ask you because I could have asked you in chat as well. But that North game, whatever it's called, is that isn't it, what is it called? What's it called? Sorry.
Northgard.
What's that?
So Northgard, it's like RTS. So like Warcraft 3, StarCraft, Stronghold. If you played those type of games before, Age of Empires. It's like a game like that. So basically, you choose a clan, and there's different clans. So each clan has its own characteristics. So if you're like the Wolf Clan, if you defeat animals, you get meat back, so you get food back from defeating them. If you are the Horse Clan, your war chiefs can mine, so you don't have any miners. Only your war chiefs can mine. So you choose different clans and you go through, and you can play it against people. So you can play like PvP, so you can play against other people and try to beat them. And there's different ways you can win. You can win by either trade. So by trading, you can win, you got to get to a certain score, and you can win that way. You can win by fame, and fame is accumulated many different ways.
Oh, that's the same thing like Age of Empires thing, right? Like they had the Wonders, whatever it's called.
Yep. Yep. There's lore, which is like if you accumulate enough lore, and it's kind of like the Wonders thing like that. And then you can win by domination, which basically you got to just defeat them. So there's many different ways you can win, and depending on how you play, you can change it which way you go in. And yeah, it's a fun game. I really enjoy it. I played through the story, which is really cool because the story starts out as like basically your father is killed, and you're trying to get back at the clan that killed your father, and trying to get back your heirloom
Oh,
that they took from you and stuff like that. And it goes through like a whole story, and it's really cool. And then there's like conquest, which is basically different maps have certain objectives that you have to complete, and if you don't, and you got to try to complete them while there's certain stuff going on as you're playing against like the AI as well, which is pretty fun.
Sorry to anybody those who like watching the game Trove crash, so that's why I was laughing. Sorry, it was not about you, but
Oh no, it's all good. It's all
it was
good.
just, suddenly there was just a black screen for people, I guess, and you would keep talking, so that's good. Like the people wouldn't like. So, yeah, is it
All
mobile
good.
as well as the Shenzhen?
Genshin.
No,
Yeah,
the North
Genshin
game is that
Northgard. I don't know if it's a mobile. I believe all I know is that it's on Steam. So I haven't seen anything about mobile, but again, I haven't really looked into it too much.
but it could look like a mobile game, right? Like it.
Yeah, I mean, it could definitely. I mean, it's like Clash of the Clans esque type of game,
A Risk,
But
you know that
yeah,
board game.
Risk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Risk. Yeah.
yeah,
You play board
something
games?
like that. I have dabbled in board games. Yes.
Oh, okay. Did you who you're playing with if you play board games? Oh, who have you played? Your wife and
So yeah, normally board games would be like friends, family members. Usually like get-togethers like that. It's normally when I would play board games. It's usually like an occasion that happens, like where there's like just a group of people together. And that's usually when we'll break out the board games and play. But normally we play like cards. Cards are like the main thing that I would play with friends or our family. It's something I would normally do.
okay. So I just for the people that are listening in, I know AM from well, I'll probably say it in intro as well, but I might as well say it here as well. I guess they're more of the story. I guess I won't tell that in the intro, so people have some juicy to actually listen in. We met at TwitchCon actually.
Yep. TwitchCon 3 years ago now.
2 years ago,
2 years ago.
2018. Yeah.
Yep.
Just over 2 years now, yeah. And I also met your wife, and
Yep. You met my wife. She was there as well with me.
yeah, she's a cool person.
She's cool, and met your friends as well. They're
Yep.
pretty cool as well.
Yeah, Thomas, the one of the guys. He has a girlfriend now.
Whoa,
Yeah,
good for
he was
him.
really looking for one when we were over there.
Yeah, I mean that's how I found my wife. I just went on the mail order bride, and that's how I got her.
Well, he kind of did the same thing ish. No, like she
Just kidding, by the way.
Sorry, what?
I said I'm just kidding, by the way.
Oh, okay. I'm not kidding though.
Oh, okay.
No, no. The thing was that he. I actually don't know how they met though, but it was something about. The story is that she came to Denmark and because she was talking to a guy, and then suddenly the guy didn't want to talk to her anymore, or didn't like.
Yep.
He brought her to Denmark, and then he was just not interested in her anymore. And if they didn't want to get married or didn't get married, she can't stay in the country, and then accidentally they found each other or something like that, and yeah. She seems
like
genuine.
90-day fiance type stuff.
Huh?
Was she trying to like get into the country?
Yeah, I think so in some way, but I don't want to say like it was she's trying to scam him of anything. She seemed very genuine about it, actually, but I don't know. Hopefully it's not, but he says it's not, and he's happy, so I think that's something.
I guess that's the important part. If he's happy, that's
Mm,
that's good.
yeah. Not that
That's
it
cool.
doesn't matter where you get love from, but just if you really
Love
want
comes
it,
in all different shapes and sizes and different types.
That was your wife. You said you were talking to me, right? Or
I was talking to you.
oh, okay. Um. So yeah, and Morten is coming to my birthday actually in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks. Having a
Nice.
little
Well,
birthday
happy
party.
early birthday.
Thank you. I'm
You're welcome.
turning 35.
Let's go.
Does that make you? I don't know. Are you older than me or am I older than you?
I am older than you, not by much. Not by
Okay.
much.
So it's not bad turning 35.
I mean, it's honestly age is just a number.
Hmm.
So it all depends on how you feel. Because you could be, you know, 25 but feel like you're 50, and you could be 35 but feel like you're, 25. So I mean, it depends, on how you take care of yourself, and people live to be 100 nowadays. So
Yeah.
age is age is only a number, so it doesn't really matter.
Do you think you feel older when you are like I feel older when after I turn 30, I feel like like you're more robust. What can you say? Like you bounce back better when you're in your 20s, right? Because your body's younger, right? And so on.
Yeah. Hmm.
Do you think that what's it called? Your body bounces, or you feel older when you hit 30 because you're used to your body was like not as robust, if you know what I mean. Like when you get older,
Hmm.
like in your 50s, you're used to your body doesn't bounce back, if you know what I mean. So you don't
Yeah.
seem to be as old. I don't know. Is that just a
Um.
weird thought of mine, or is it?
Well, I think it all comes down to if you take care of yourself. So obviously, when you get older, your body
Mm,
isn't gonna, you know, like you said, bounce back how it used to when you were younger. Just because when you're younger, it's just your body, your metabolism, everything in your body is just a little bit better.
mm,
So as you get older, some things are going to go a little bit slower. It's not going to be that way. But again, you can neutralize a lot of that with, eating healthy, getting plenty of sleep, and taking care of your body, and, taking vitamins, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, as you get older, I wouldn't say like now that I'm old, in my 30s, that I would feel like I feel so much older than I was in my 20s. I don't think that's the case. I feel like obviously I feel like I may be a little bit wiser
mm,
than then, um, but I wouldn't say like I feel so much older than back then.
mm. No, I don't think you've. It's just like what your body is used to. And I'm just gonna tell people I'm
Yeah.
actually jumping out of these channels for Trove because I don't know what you might see what they're saying and they might say something that I don't want them to say on the video. So just letting people know. Again, I'm doing it on
Um.
edit, so yeah. But to talk about what you said um about age, is is it when are you old? When do you think you're old? Like,
You know what? You're old when I think it's the mindset.
hmm,
Maybe when you have kids, you could think you're old, or when you get a job, you could think you're old, or you hit a certain number. I think everybody's different. Whenever they think they're old. I would say, my sisters may feel like they're older than I am because they all have kids. They may
hmm.
feel like they're super old because, they have one has two kids, another one just had her third.
Oh,
They honestly, when I look at them, I feel like they're older than I am,
yeah,
and my oldest sister, she's only a year younger than me, and my youngest sister, she's 3 years younger than me. But when I look at them, I'm like, I feel like they're older than me because they're more mature because they have kids.
yeah.
So I don't
But they
know.
might
I don't
also
know.
have to be. You have to maybe be older when you have children. As a parent or something like that. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. They just might seem more mature because of that.
yeah. And I had somebody who in my chat just said they're 26 and they feel old. So,
Hmm.
everybody, I think it's just a mindset. You know, do I feel like I'm young? Honestly do feel like I'm young. I'm 35, so I'm old. You know, halfway to 70, and I don't know. I don't really feel like old, but again, I'm not like young, so I'm not like gonna be out here hanging out with these young bucks and all that kind of stuff, and doing all kinds of silly stuff. But you know, I don't really feel like I'm old. Because when I think about that, my wife and she wants to do travel nursing because she's a nurse,
Hmm.
and when we talk about it, like we have a couple years to do travel nursing and have fun and travel the country and do that kind of stuff. And if I feel like I was old, I feel like I wouldn't do that because I feel like it'd be time to like settle down, start a family, do all that kind of stuff. But I don't really
Hmm.
think that way.
So that's in like in the what's it called, in the works, or that's the plan, or what? The master plan.
That's the plan. Yeah, that's the plan.
The master plan. All right. Because that was kind of my next question, or I wanted to know. I don't know if it was too personal to ask about. I don't know if is it too personal to ask people that, like that you like we know of each other, but we don't we're not like.
If you feel old, is that
No,
what you're
no, no,
asking?
no. About kids, like, is that a personal thing to people?
No, I feel like you could ask some as long as you know them. You don't know them, then
Hmm.
if you don't know somebody, then maybe getting a little bit too personal. Not a good question, but I mean I know you, so I mean asking is fine.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Like it could also be. So I'm just gonna tell a story about one of my friends. He found out that you know all his growing up, he was with women and stuff like that, and then he found out, or he never got a girl pregnant while he was growing up. While he was young and you know doing all that party life, and he didn't think about it in that way. But then when now he has a wife, and they were trying to be pregnant, and they didn't understand why he wasn't, and the problem was that couldn't get he couldn't be a father in that way. That, and
Yeah.
I know that was very hard for him to you know and I don't know, I don't know that, of course, that was not your problem, but it could be a touchy subject for some people, if they
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, if that happens to be the case, where I'm unable to have kids, then
hmm.
that's not the only way to have children. You can always
Oh,
adopt,
yeah.
and that's something my wife and I have talked about. I constantly bring up kids every now and again for the twins, Easy and Clap, and we have both talked. And she's brought up, we don't have to have kids. Like we could adopt, and it's always an option. You don't always have to have kids because there's plenty of kids that are out there that don't have families. They
Hmm.
don't have parents, and you can always adopt to give a child a home. Parents, somebody who would care for them and love them. And take them out of the a foster or a foster home. And try to give them their own home and type deal. So
Hmm. Has it always been your plan to have kids, or
I feel like when I was growing up, I wanted to have kids, and as I got older, it was more about I don't know. I just feel like more like if I have kids, it's great. If I don't have them, it's not the end of the world. But again, I never thought I was really gonna get married ever. That wasn't something like I was ever planning on doing, and it just you just meet the right person, and it's something that comes up.
hmm.
So
Was
I
it
feel
was
the
it
kind of same way now. Like if we have kids, it's great. If we don't, then
yeah.
it's not the end of the world.
So was it so after you met your wife, was
Yep, on
was it
mail order
did
bride. Yep.
was it you or her that said, like, marriage, or was it like just yeah, that sounds cool, well, let's do it, or
It was me. It was definitely
hmm.
me. It's something we talked about, and we have talked about a couple times, and there was a thing where it's kind of funny, but we're just kind of like I was, I brought it up, and it was just like, do you plan on like wanting to leave me? Like, do you want to stay with me? That kind of stuff.
Mm.
And she was like, no. Then I'm like, so what are you so afraid about marriage for? And then she was just kind of like, that's a good question. Like, why am I? And she's like, okay, let's get married.
Mm.
That was kind of the thing, like, because she's always like, no, I don't want, no, no, no. Um, and then eventually it was like, I'm like, what are you afraid of? Like, do you not want to like be with me? And she's like, no, I do. And then you just kind of thought about it. And I was just like, oh, well, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So it wasn't on her mind either to like she wanted to find somebody, in her life as surely as you probably also wanted to in some way. Um, and then when you met each other, the thought of marriage came up. It wasn't like a like some people have, I want to find a guy or a girl or whatever, and and then I want to get married. The goal is to get married to somebody, and your guys wasn't the goal to get married, if you know what I mean. But it just
Yeah, no. The goal wasn't find somebody and then after 2 years,
hmm,
get married and all that kind of stuff and have it all planned out. No, and I think for her, and I would say the same for me, it wasn't even more like the process was to get married. It was just more like I don't want to be with anybody else. You don't want to be with anybody else. Like
hmm,
why not get married type deal.
yeah, yeah, makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, that's probably not like the process that most people will go through it for
No,
that, but it just kind of is like how it worked out for us, which was kind of funny.
yeah. Do you think it's you have to make excuses uh like for society? That's what I'm saying. Like we're talking about marriage and stuff like that, and most if you ask probably probably your parents or my parents or like you know I guess any parents, to be honest, if they ask you or you ask like what should I do with my life, they say, hey, you get yourself an education, you get yourself a job, you get married, you get kids and stuff like that. That's what like any parent would probably say. I know that's not what people like. That's probably what our parents used to do, or that was what
Sex
we.
after marriage, marriage after college.
Yeah, exactly. And my point is just like there might be some society stigmas around getting or getting not forced into per se, but there's some kind of expectations to get married or and then have kids or something like that. Have you ever
Yeah, I
felt that
think
or
no, I definitely think obviously being born in the 80s and growing up in the 80s, 90s,
hmm,
there was still some of that like left over from, the my parents that grew up, and obviously the 60s, 70s, all that kind of stuff. And
hmm,
so, there's definitely some of those stigmas that, you got to go through a certain way. But that I wouldn't say it was more my parents, it was more maybe my other family members. Cause my parents were kind of very like let my sisters and myself kind of live our own lives. So we never really had to go a certain route. Like if we wanted to go to college, we could go to college. We didn't have to do that. Wasn't something we had to do.
huh,
Um, so we kind of were able to make our own choices. And so I feel like for me, growing up, there was some of that, but not a lot. And you know, for me now, I don't think there was any pressure to get married or any pressure to have kids. And I wouldn't say for my sisters either, because my sister had a child at 16.
oh that's young.
So she got pregnant at 16, had it at 17. So yeah, I don't think there was too much of that in my family.
Do you think like I'm just gonna throw a really radical thought out there? Do you think it should be like that? Like we have all these. I actually saw a video recently, um, or I didn't see the whole video, but I saw like to a certain point in the video just to me. And there was a guy that was like spokesperson here in Denmark for a specific minority group, like people that were what's it called, had a Muslim background, and also were gay or transvestites or stuff like that. So they didn't get a lot of support. I'm not saying it's for every Muslim, but sometimes in Muslim cultures, it's not very well seen at, and you are gay or you are trans, whatever you are. And he said there was now identified at least like 50 different genders. And my question is not like how many genders there are, stuff like that, but I'm just saying it seems very overwhelming that there's now like 50 genders. Like, my point is, have we gone too far with the like identifying who we are in like our genders, or like you could do whatever you want with your life? That's what I mean. Like in the segment of um, like, would it be better if somebody told us? I know that would be kind of like a dictatorship, but like I said before, get yourself a education, a job, a wife, or yeah, whatever you want to. But do you think there should be some kind of? Would it be better? Do you think society would be better if it was more like everybody did the same thing? Get the job. I wasn't talking about genders, but it was just. I guess there's a segment into. I know it's kind of a mouthful, but yeah. But the question is basically just like, do you think that everybody should have the same life? Think that would make society better or worse?
No, I think the uniqueness of everybody is great. So I think if everybody was the same, that would be kind of boring. I think you kind of see it like,
yeah, boring, but
like, just because everybody's the same doesn't mean it's better. Because
no.
I'm in the mindset like, if you have, and this is an analogy. I think I got it from like a movie or something, or show or something. But basically, if you have two people, you have disagreement. You have three people, you have a war. Basically, like, no two people are going to be alike. So even if everybody does the same exact thing, that doesn't necessarily mean that their mindsets are going to be the same. So you're still going to have people, if we all have the same job, we all get paid the same amount of money, we all have the same housing, we all have the same everything. Some people are going to be okay with it. Some people are going to be upset with it. So again, if society is all the same, doesn't necessarily mean that everybody's going to feel the same. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah, but my point was just like, if everybody was like the same, it was more what's it called? People who understand, like, a lot of not racism per se, but it is mostly misunderstandings and people not understanding each other. So if everybody knew that everybody was doing the same thing, I don't know, it would just be more. But I do myself very much think it's great that everybody can be whatever they want to be, of course, and that people should be allowed to 100%. But my point is just like, I don't want people to be angry at each other at the way that, or misunderstand, or make complications because they don't understand the way you live your life, basically. I don't want people to be mad about each other because you decide to live your life this way,
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like that's just, again, it just comes down to like the mindset. Everybody's gonna have their own mindset, and there's really not much you can do about it, to be honest with you. Whether the way you live your life, some people, let's take my parents, for instance. My parents, my mom, she may want me to have kids right now. That's what she feels like I should do, because I'm married, and maybe it's time for me to have kids because she wants to have more grandkids and stuff like that. And that's what she wanted. And that's what she did, and she feels like that I should do it. But that's not her life. She doesn't really have a say in that. And that same thing goes for I would say, society. I mean, like, in society, you have some things that are wrong that you shouldn't do, like obviously stealing, killing, stuff like that. But if you want to identify as a lamp and live your life as a lamp, then as long as it's not harming anybody else, like, what's the problem?
Yeah, exactly. But everybody doesn't have that mindset that it is all right, because they don't understand it, so they get hostile around it.
Yeah, and that's just the way it's gonna be, because everybody has a different mindset. Everybody thinks differently. So
Yeah, and of course we
It-
had, there's always been misunderstandings in, but I don't think we've ever had something this radical in life, yeah, or in our history as we have right now. It might just be like a transition period we're
Mm,
going into now. Like people have to understand that there are suddenly 50 different genders or whatever, right? And it's what's it called, an adjustment period, but for how long is it going to be an adjustment period, right?
well, I think also, I mean, I'm always at the mindset like we don't know. Like I feel like things come up so often now because we live in an age of social media
Hmm.
where you can put everything out there, and you can, and some stuff, you know, more people are accepting of.
Hmm.
Whereas in the past, there wasn't that case where like if you, I'll take for instance, my father eventually came out as bisexual when I was um, in college, and he knew that he was that way before he met my mother, and he knew that he liked men as well as women, but he didn't didn't come out as liking men when he was younger, but when he met my mom, because he knew that his family, his brothers, sisters, his mom, wouldn't be accepting of him. And then as he got, as the years went on, 18 years, he, came out saying that he, is bisexual. He likes men, he likes women. And even then, his siblings, weren't really accepting of him. Some were, some weren't. His
Hmm.
mom wasn't. And, that was just the case. I feel like same goes for like then. We don't know in the past if, some people identified as, whatever their gender was. Yeah, it could be that case, but it just wasn't accepting in society. So that's why it wasn't that way. So I just think now that, some things, you know, I don't want to say accepting because not everybody accepts, but some things are just put out there more now due to social media and due to the ability to do it. Whereas before, I just wasn't the case
Yeah. So that was
where they had that platform to do it.
yeah. So did your mom know like from the start or?
I think my mom had ideas,
Hmm.
definitely, but my dad loved my mom loved my dad, and and obviously they had my sisters and myself, so they were together for us, and
Hmm.
then as we got older, I think my dad decided to come out and want to come out and live his life, the way he has wanted to live it,
So yeah.
and so he definitely, for the most part, did it for us as kids. That way
Hmm.
we had like, you know, mom, dad in the same household and stuff like that. Because as when he came out, and that wasn't the only reason, but my parents eventually got divorced and they separated, for other reasons that wasn't the case. That wasn't the reason why they broke up or they got divorced. But he wanted to for the family to stay together for as long as it could. But no, she definitely had an idea, and same with us, as his kids, we definitely had an idea, like
Oh, so you
that
wasn't
he
shocked like?
also, no, and he's like, my dad would talk about, if I came out as gay or if I came out as bisexual,
Oh.
would you still love me? And I'm
Oh.
like, you're my dad, like, yeah, I'll love you. And I was like, the only reason I wouldn't love you is like if you, keep going down this path that you're going down of, doing stuff that's not good. That's the only time I'll look, dislike you or disapprove of your choices. But if you
Hmm.
come out as gay or bisexual, like, dad, I love you, you're my dad. So whatever you are, if you're my dad, you're my mom, you're whatever, like I'm still gonna love you no matter what. And so I think after time, and he kind of knew that we would be accepting of him,
Hmm.
and it wasn't even of us being accepting of him. I think he eventually had to accept himself as well. and
Oh,
that he got comfortable of to be able to come out, and I was happy for him, and I still loved him, so it wasn't. I think we all knew, and so we were kind of happy that he finally was ready to make that choice.
yeah, and also times have changed. 40 some years ago, when before he met your mom, that was a different time where, like,
Yeah.
even being I would say Christian, right? Would they would also be ill will. Probably there's still some extremists out there. There's still, but genuinely, Christianity looks not as harsh on being gay or bisexual or in some way. At least what I think. That's from my narrow point of view in my little world. At least how is what I've heard. But definitely a different time back then. And one of my question was that was gonna also be if why they kept being together, or but you answered that with but because of you guys.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was definitely a different time. But yeah, I kind of had the not the same situation, but my mom is an only child, and
Hmm.
when my grandparents died, when my on my mother's side died, I was 21. Well, my younger brother was then 8 years younger than that, so I can't. That's I can't do that math in my head right now. But the point is, I was 21, and I figured out, or I found out, that they were not my real grandparents. They were, they adopted my mom when she was younger. So that was also something I had to, you know, learn later. I know it's not in the same category as yours, but sometimes, well, or she did it because of also she wanted me and my little brother not to look different on them before they were gone.
Yeah, and
So I think every family has, like, their stories that.
mhm. Yeah, everybody has their stories. Everybody's family's different, how they're brought up, and all that kind of stuff. Which is what makes us unique, which is great. Which is if
Hmm.
people want to identify as whatever they want to identify as. I think that's
Yeah,
great.
I definitely think like that. Think that everybody should be that. The idea I just had was that, and maybe it comes from maybe I'm influenced by what I just watched. I watched the Social Dilemma on Netflix. You seen that one?
I have not.
Oh, it's not about genders and stuff like that, but it's more about and it just starts my brain on thinking on so many things when I see, like, stuff like that. But it's about, of course, the impact that social media has had and what they do and how evil they all are and stuff like that. And some of it is good, and some of it feels like a little propaganda. But that's probably just what they're trying to get people rallied up, because some of it is not very good. But what they also said in the documentary was that um, uh, I think I lost my train of thought. What was it? They said that, well, social media is bad. But what was it that? Damn it, that's not good. I should have. Okay, let me give me 1 second, and I'll see if I can't remember what they said.
It's all good, man. Take your time, bro.
Uh, no, because it was like, um, oh, I can't remember now. So that probably wasn't. It probably wasn't important. But yeah, the Social Dilemma at least was about the impact that social media had also on the kids and stuff like that. It's a pretty crazy, and definitely worth a watch, at least. Um,
I might have to check it out.
I think you should. Anybody else should as well. Um, But yeah, it's all about them. Also, they also build like characters or all the recommended stuff. They have to um, build profiles of you. So they have like profile. The more you use the different apps and stuff like that, and not only apps but also you know social media in general. They keep tabs on you, of course, but they see like, oh, if he likes this photo or this photo, uh, they're gonna feed you more of those kind of things. And something that surprised me a lot with watching this one, and I don't know, spoiler alert, they actually also monitor how much you look at things. So like if you look at a picture for like 10 seconds, they captured that 10 seconds and said, okay, so he looked at this picture for 10 seconds and only this one for 1 second. So we're going to feed in more of those pictures he looked 10 seconds at, which was kind of crazy.
That's interesting.
Yeah, like they're like even watching how much we look at things. I understand like what would you say, if you clicked on things, that would feed you into putting you down the rabbit hole and all those things, right? But to be actually look how long we're actually looking at things, it's just kind of crazy.
Well, I mean, it's no different than like YouTube's algorithm, or if you were watching certain videos that they put on other videos that are similar to it and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was also with YouTube, of course. It was mostly in about Facebook and about not Instagram per se, but it was mostly about Facebook actually, because like all these things that happened with Mark Zuckerberg and they're selling the data and stuff like that. But it was also about YouTube that it does the same thing where it keep us engaged basically and keep us watching. And it was also of course about the money. It was like a money, what's it called, problem, or because they hit us with the ads and that's how they make their their money. So as long as the more you keep looking at their abs, the more, or the media, then yeah. Do you use social media a lot, or well, I guess.
Honestly, don't use it as much as I probably should.
Oh, you should.
As being a content creator, I think social media is a great way to grow your community. So,
can I ask you why you want to grow your community? We were just talking about how bad social media is. Like, what is your?
I never said social media is bad.
No.
I think you were talking about in the documentary social media is bad. But social media, I mean, growing your community. If you're trying to be a content creator, having more platforms to get your content out there is better. So if you're only on Twitch and you're not making any YouTube, that's fine, and some people do that. But you're kind of just limiting yourself, your exposure. So like this podcast, if you only put this podcast on YouTube and and if as it grows, you don't want to move it to Spotify or other sources to have people listen to your podcast, you're not giving yourself the opportunity to have more people listen to you to grow, your podcast or yourself. So same with social media. If I'm only posting stuff on Twitch and I'm not using YouTube, I'm not using Instagram, I'm not using Twitter, it's just, I'm just limiting myself there. And so I think eventually you gotta decide how big you want yourself to be. And some people, maybe you don't want to be that big, and maybe it's okay being small time and you just want to do it for the small community that you have, and that's okay. But if it's something you want to grow in, I think you should use all sources to improve yourself.
Yeah, 100%. But that was also kind of leading into my other question, like how big do you want to be? That's the just because I feel like I don't know what the key to success is on It's definitely not what the podcast is about. It's not about, hey, how are you gonna be successful on Twitch or stuff like that. But the point is, what do you like? What is your goal with your streaming? Because like, the not the common goal, but the usually the goal is to live off it. That's like what usually people do, and that's what yeah. Is that your goal, or as like what is your goal with your streaming? That's kind of what it leads into, I guess.
Yeah, I mean the goal would be to make it a stable source of income.
Mm.
I think at first it started out with I just wanted to get 100 followers, get 1,000 followers, get 5,000 followers, get, and then when subs came out, I just wanted to have a sub button for, the people who were here. Then eventually it was, what's the whole affiliate program was like, I would love to get partnered. That's one goal, is to get partnered. And, we got close at one point in time, and
How close were you?
it
Sorry.
didn't work out. The closest I got was back in Trove in its heyday. I was 67 concurrent viewers, which I was averaging over a month, and what I didn't hit the 75. So
wow.
But that's what I was at that time. So I was averaging quite a bit of viewers at that time, and got pretty close, but
it kind of sucks that you're that close, though.
Yeah, I mean, and eventually, getting partners at the end of the day, because you have some people who get partnered, and I mean, nothing really comes of it. So obviously, getting partnered would be great, but then constantly growing the community would be good too. But yeah, I mean, I think the goal is to definitely grow the community to be as big as it can be. I don't want to say a number, whether that be 20,000, 30,000, 100,000, 1 million followers or whatever, subscribers, that kind of stuff. I think, and that's not for anybody, for everybody. I mean, that's not everybody's dream. Everybody has their own dreams, but for me, it'd be to have a consistent source of income, because it's something I enjoy. I enjoy playing games. I enjoy talking to the community that I have, and interacting with them and creating content for them. And that's what I enjoy. So I would love to be able to do that consistently and be able to make some money off it, because at the end of the day you got to pay bills.
Yeah.
So that's the goal for me, to be able to have it be a consistent source of income. And and how big it gets, only time will tell.
Yeah, how long have you been at it?
That may not be the case. That may not be what's in the cards, and that's fine.
Yeah. So how long have you been at it then?
So I've been on and off for 6 years. So started my stream probably like 6 years ago during Destiny 1 on PlayStation, using a PlayStation camera.
Oh.
And at that time I was on and off. I did it for a little bit. I had a full-time job at that point, and then in between full-time job, streamed, and then worked part-time. So, and that may be the case moving forward, as well. But it's been a while. And I've had the sub button now for 3 years.
Do you think there should be more? I actually talked about this on my recent stream as well. It happens currently once a month or something like that. I don't know. But we actually talked about, or I talked about, and something I voiced a few times, is that I think the affiliate system is a joke, to be honest. I feel like it's a joke because like you get your friend and your mom and your dog to watch, and then just do that for like a month or something like that, or for a couple hours or an hour a day or 2 hours, I don't know. And then you get affiliate, and then you get the sub button. But I feel like there's such a big gap from affiliate to then, as you said, you were pretty close with 66 viewers, right? Have never been that close, actually, even in Trove's heyday. I was even not even even that on that numbers. But my point is, do you think there should be other ways to gain affiliate, or should there be more tiers where you can be like, oh, I know they've opened up a lot of things, yeah, but um, maybe they could promote more the people that are in the different tiers, So I don't know. But do you think there should be other ways, at least, to gain partnership?
Well, I think there are. I think, if you have a big following on like, if you have a big subscriber base on YouTube, I
Mm.
think you can transfer that over and be like, hey, I have over, I have like 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. Would I be able to get a partnership over on Twitch? I don't know what the numbers are, but I'm sure that there are some ability there to be able to get it. As far as should there be like an affiliate and then like a tier below partner, or I don't know. I mean, like, again, partner allows you to have more emotes, gives you access to other things that Twitch offers to partners only. I think, again, affiliate has grown a lot since it first started, and you get more emotes now than then.
Mm.
And there are some programs that they do start to incorporate to affiliates, but I think if you had like a mid tier, it would really like kind of diminish the whole partner, because partners are those who are really into the grind, that put a lot of effort into their craft, and or just get lucky, because that's the case too. Some people are able to network with somebody and it just kind of works out, or they're it just kind of works out where they are able to kind of just take off.
Mm.
um but again, I don't think there should be a tier in between. I think as affiliate you're able to make money,
Mm.
and you get a sub button, and yeah, you don't get as much as partners, but that should be the goal. If you want to get to there, then you should put the effort in to get to there.
Yeah. 100%. But maybe the tiers was not like a good idea. But my point is, what about like other ways to gain it? You did say about subscribers on YouTube, but my point is, if you're like I'm not saying, but if you're a brand new content creator, should there be other ways? My point is like. I've been grinding at it as well for some years. I'm like at like 2,000 hours of like streaming, for example. Do you think there should be other goals than just like this like 75 thing viewer whatever thing? I know it's about money in some ways, but I don't know. I feel like there could be other ways to not automatically gain it, but be under consideration. For example, if you like stream for 2,000 hours, for example, and you know,
I don't know. I think it always comes down to concurrent viewers
but why
and
though?
all
Why
that
why is it
jazz.
always viewers? Why is it?
Because they're having the investment of people who are actually looking at that person. So let's say it's 200,000 hours or
Hmm,
whatever. Let's just put a ridiculous number out there. But
hmm,
you only ever have one person in your stream.
hmm,
But you have streamed 10,000 hours. We'll say 10,000 because
hmm.
that's more realistic.
Yeah,
Okay,
still.
but you only ever have one person that's in your stream,
Hmm,
and that one person is you, or that one person is your significant other or a friend. Okay, so then you get partnered, and now you get all these you know privileges and benefits of being partnered. But but why though? Like,
hmm.
are you gonna take advantage of them? Is it something that are you gonna use? Um, and so I think to 75 concurrent viewers is Twitch's way of saying we're gonna get the best investment out of these people who are having that are getting watched the most.
Hmm.
Now, could it be a different number? I don't know. That's not for me to decide, and you know that's for them to decide, and that's what they have. But um,
Yeah, but it wasn't like I think also if you have those concurrent 75 average whatever and all the other criterias, I think they do you can then apply, and then they will look at your stream thing, right? Like they will, I think they tune in for some streams and see if you're not just sleeping or whatever, or you're viewbotting and stuff like that. But I feel like they could do the same thing with I'm gonna say like the 10,000 hours, right? They could still like say, okay, this guy has actually been putting in 10,000 hours on our platform, and he has been playing small games like Trove. You probably right now would never make it unless something really crazy happens in Trove, which I never like. I'm just taking Trove for example because it's a small game, but if you play small games, you're not gonna get a lot of viewers, and I think I don't say it's impossible, but it's gonna be very hard. It's also gonna be hard with a big game, maybe. I don't know what exactly the key to the 75 viewers is, because if I knew, I would be a partner, right? But I'm just saying, maybe you were allowed to apply when you had that 10,000 hours, and they could look and say, all right, he actually put 10,000 hours into our what's it called, our site, and yes, he doesn't have a lot of viewers, but he seems like a really good guy, or he seems very genuine, and yes, he has a small community still, but we want to reward that guy still, for that. And I don't feel like you could say, well, the reward is affiliate, but I don't feel like affiliate is enough as a reward as this person,
Well, I think you gotta ask yourself what exactly you want. Like, what do you want? Like, what is partnership going to give you that right now affiliate isn't going to give you? That doesn't give you.
It's gonna tell me that all the hard work, all the hours I put into this, is recognized by Twitch, and saying you have a great. We want to reward you for the hard work you've done. And we think you are a guy that represents Twitch in a good way. Because there's probably people out there, and there's probably, if you ask Twitch, there's probably also some people that are partnered that they don't, feel like is appropriate for their, for their ad revenue, right? If you know what I mean. Like, I'm not gonna say any specifically, but you know what I mean.
So you want a different way of getting partnered to make revenue, so that way you can start making more revenue?
It's more recognition. It's just about, you put in the hard work, and now we're gonna reward you for, I'm not saying you automatically, again, I'm not saying automatic. If you stream to 10,000 hours, you're not gonna get it automatically. My point is just like, they would look at your stream, when you applied, and then they would say, okay, we'll catch a few streams, see what, like, if he's something we want to, or her, him or her, doesn't really matter. But we want him to, what's it called? Be considered for a partnership position, maybe, because he put in the hard work, he did put in the hours. But you cannot apply at all if you don't have that 75 viewers and stuff like that. It's like, you can put in as much hard work, but if you're never going to reach that 75, it's just like, why even bother, to be honest, in a way.
Well, I think eventually, I mean, I think thinking about it, like, you're never going to reach 75, I think that's, I don't think that's a really great mindset. I think
No.
You got to figure out, like, what are you doing that's preventing you from being able to reach that 75? And what can you do to help you reach that number?
True.
So I think you just got to reevaluate yourself, and again, I feel like for myself, me personally, it's more making content or doing stuff that with my community that continue to help continue to make it grow, and being somebody who people like to come back and tune into, and and it's I feel like I'm slowly getting there. Even though I have 7,000 followers, people are like, "Oh wow, it's a ton of followers," but how many of those followers still are on Twitch? So
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. So it's one of those things where, I for me, I play so many different games, and in certain games I can see my communities still kind of do well. Like when I'm playing Dungeon Defenders, for instance, I can average up to 30 viewers per stream, and that's pretty solid for a small game.
Mm.
And there's other games it doesn't do as well, but it's just because I'm playing a different game that some people are watching, and what I need to do is, and that's why I talk about like social media, which I haven't been doing a good job on, especially YouTube, is putting content out there in other platforms. That way people can see me and be like, oh, this guy is actually pretty cool. Like he's pretty fun to watch, and then hopefully they can stop by. And I've had that happen lately where people have seen my YouTube videos on that I put out for Dungeon Defenders, and I've been like, hey, like I really like your videos, like, and they stop by like, hey, I saw you on YouTube, and I just want to stop by, and then they stop by more often, and that's one of those things where I don't know. Maybe again, I'm not saying the 75 concurrent viewers is a great bar, and there could be other ways to get there, but or to have you be evaluated. So I'm not saying that's not a good idea, but I think also you got to evaluate like what are you doing to get yourself recognized so that you have the potential to hit
Mm.
that concurrent viewership. And if you're only ever just streaming a game, the same game over and over and over again, you might need to just evaluate like, okay, maybe I need to be doing something else, or maybe what I'm putting out there isn't exactly what people want to see, or maybe I should be doing something else, or adding something to my stream, or doing some type of content that can help me grow,
Yeah.
or networking. Some people say networking is a thing as well. Honestly, networking is great. It's cool and all, but I don't know if that's the end all be all. But
No, it's probably not the source of the, you know, of
but
the.
again, I think you have to evaluate. And again, what does partnership mean? And for me, again, for me, partnership would come after being able to have the concurrent viewership, growing the community to where I can get it to wherever it is. And if I get the check mark, that's great.
Mm.
But I think for me, like having Twitch recognize me isn't my end goal. It isn't something that really matters to me. For me, it's being able to grow a community and have a community that's enjoys the content and likes to stop by and hang out, and a place where people can just kind of hang out, talk, chat,
Mm.
talk about games, play different games, and grow together. And I think that's slowly what we're getting here. But for me personally, having Twitch recognize me isn't that's or I think personally for me that's not something that I need as far as justification for my hard work. My hard work comes from the community. From my community, they're the ones who let me know like, am I doing a good job?
Yeah. It's the same thing with me though. I was just I wouldn't mind getting that check mark. I wouldn't say no if it was my way, but I've never said I wanted to live off this. So
Yeah. And some people don't.
and if I could, I don't know if I could go back. I probably could, but I don't really want to be affiliate either, because it's not that I don't like making a few extra dollars here and there, but it's more I'm not in it for for the money. I'm in it for because I want to help people, because it feels good when I'm helping people and people tell me that they got help from what I did. That's also why I'm kind of stopped streaming and just focus more on YouTube, because like
Yep.
it's so much easier to help people in that way. Yes, you can help people there, but it also came together because when I was streaming, everything I thought about was content. Like there was games I wasn't playing, I wanted to play really badly, but I was gonna wait until I could stream it. And it just upset me because I couldn't do that what I wanted, because I was thinking everything was in content. What can I make this
Yeah.
out of content? How can I make this out of content? And it was just getting too much, and that's why I also stopped streaming. And I realized that I could help people as well on YouTube. And I often get replies when people comment on my videos that they say, "Do you still like comment on these videos when people comment. Yeah, I still help people every single day.
Yeah.
It didn't haven't stopped. I keep going even though videos are getting a couple of years old, right? But it was just more like, um, I feel like it's you know I'm just feel like I'm so much more than 75 viewers. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I am what. And well, of course, you're gonna say that about yourself, or who? Of course, you're gonna say that. I'm the stuff that Twitch should have on their platform, or should recognize as their platform. Probably everybody has that about themselves, but I feel like as well as yours community, I feel like we built something great together, and um, I think you just kind of want some kind of recognition by Twitch and saying, "True, this is what our platform." Or some of our we hope that our creators can stride against too and stuff like that. It is about some vague whatever you can call it, recognition, whatever you can call it, but true, it is just that it's maybe it's also just them saying, yeah, you're doing it what you should be doing, like you're on the right path or whatever, right? um, that's why I meant by the tiers, but if you went up to the
Yeah.
second tier of whatever, then you'd be like, yeah, okay, I can see that I'm doing something right, and Twitch is, the viewers can see that he's something to watch. That's, there's probably like a lot of people that if they chat somebody in somebody else's chat and has that check mark, people are gonna be like, oh, he's partnered, gotta check him out, right? So get you something kind of, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But that, yeah, I think that was a good segment into what Twitch. We got around to a lot of things. So actually already been an hour. I just looked at the time now. I was just like that's a good 20 minutes. We still got some time. It's like, nope, it's actually an hour.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, it's always good talking to him. That's why I wanted you to come back to talk again, because yeah, we kind of missed out on TwitchCon this year because of the wonderful coronavirus.
Yeah, man, I was looking forward to TwitchCon EU.
Mm.
Both my wife and myself, we were very much, and I was really looking forward to, like, obviously seeing you again there. But I had some people, from DDA when I played DDA from
Mm.
that community who were going as well, that I was going to be able to meet for the first time as well, and some other viewers. My first ever follower that I ever got in Twitch. He's been here since the beginning. I was finally gonna be able to meet him as well and him and his fiance at TwitchCon as well. And unfortunately, with Corona that didn't happen. But
Maybe next
there's
year. Maybe
always
Corona
next
will
year.
over
Always.
Christmas disappear.
So
But yeah,
I'm
also
definitely gonna be
you
doing
guys
that,
were so nice to
do
us
that again.
when we were in America, in the U.S. So we got overwhelmed, and I felt like I was kind of just overwhelmed how nice you guys were. Of course, I assumed you guys were somewhat nice, but not as nice as you guys were. So I felt like I didn't get to be or show how appreciated I was that you guys were so nice, and you guys got to just paid for everything and everything like that. So it's not that I feel like I'm in debt. Don't feel like I'm in debt. I just feel like I didn't get to show how kind I can be as well.
Well, again, and that's more me than I would say Kathy. You guys were here, and I'm very I don't know how to say, happy-go-lucky, appreciative person. So having you guys here, coming up, driving all the way, I just wanted to do that. And some people, don't enjoy that being done.
Hmm.
But I'm the type of person who just, I like to have fun, and and if sometimes, I just feel like, I want to, pick up the tab, and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
pay, and just, have a good time, and not, worry about because some people will worry about what the bill
Mm.
is and that kind of stuff. And I'm the type of person, if we're having a good time or having fun, that's one thing I don't want people to worry about. So that's more times than not.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same. It doesn't like it like money is always something you can get more of in a way.
Yeah.
If you're pressured in some way, of course it's hard. But like if you are on the cusp of a good time and you're just gonna say no and you just like miss an opportunity for a good time because money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. I think we can keep talking. I think we could do another hour, but we can always bring it back. It doesn't have to be just one time, but
Bring it back. Bring it back.
part two.
Yeah, man, definitely. Yeah,
what
definitely.
is what is it
Whenever
called?
if you want to have me back on your podcast or
Sure.
your forum, I'd be more than happy to come back
Whole
and
conversation.
chat about, you know, whatever.